All right, today we're going to look at specifically three safety defense and how it fits up schematically against run. So here we're going to look at the national championship. And yes, I know TCU did get blown out. But again, we're looking at specifically the schematics, the X's and O's. Obviously, when you have great athletes, they can overcome a lot of the scheme stuff. But we're just going to look at, do they have hats for the holes that are being created? Are they able to fit it up correctly? And again, this is a game of inches. So you're going to see on this play, it's just a matter of one or two steps from a no gain to a 7 yard gain. So Georgia comes out in basically a pro slot look. And initially, what you've got here is there's your three safeties, your corner, your Sam, your Will, and your Mike. And now the reason why the Mike is so deep is because TCU, what he likes to do is if he's got both backers near the box, he's going to back the Mike up. Instead of being a true 3-3 stack look, he's going to back him up just enough, and that gives him more of an angle to go from C gap to C gap. Right. And the reason why the same is in the box here is because he's got a slot with an extended out receiver. So the big spacing there that's going to put him back inside. And now they're going to motion over. So the way that they're going to adjust is normally he likes to adjust with his outside backers. But here, because of how much he's got in the box, he can only adjust with the third safety. So that's why you see the third safety come down. So really what it ends up being, and this is how, I like to run the three safety defense, and this really becomes the de facto Sam. That's your de facto third safety, right? But essentially that's your safety, that's your Mike in the TCU system. But as far as fits, that's how it's going to look. So Georgia's going to run a gap scheme counter, and you can see he gets 7 yards. But let's look at it from the butt shot because we're going to see how does it fit up. So first thing we look at is the front. So TCU did this a lot, right? They set up in an inside shade, an outside shade, and an outside shade, but they move, they stem out. So now they're looking like it's a 505 front. But what they're going to do is they're going to move him in, and they're going to go head up to the center, inside shade of the tackle, outside shade of the tackle. The reason why they do this is he likes to have an inside shade to the back, unless there's a tight end. Now, because he's off the line, he's probably comfortable with him being an inside shade. And I'll show you why here in a second on this other side. It has to do with down blocking and how you can protect your backers. But he likes to have him inside shade to the back. He likes to have him head up. And the reason why they do that is because now he can lag, play the backside A, he could play the B gap, and now we've taken away the immediate cutback. So we're either pushing it front side or we're making it fall back off the table. And then there's your fitter, your Sam, or whoever is your alley player can step up. He can force it back inside. And then over here, you've got your DN and an outside shade of the tackle. The reason why you want to be an outside shade of the tackle is because he's got the tight end. All right. So because of that, if you played an inside shade, what you'd get here on this gap scheme is the tackle would crash down on the end, and now the tight end has free range to go hit the will. But because he's head up, or outside shade, he at least has to gain, enough of this guy's attention where they've got a double team, and that should be just enough to let the will scrape, and that's what you're going to get here. So there you see they reduce it down. There's the double team that allows the will to scrape. Now we're looking pretty good right here. TCU's looking really, really good schematically because they're going to kick the end man on the scrimmage, which essentially is the corner. All right, so now here's your spiller guy, and then here's your overlap guy, and then here's your extra hat. What happens is they do end up kicking the corner. He's a non-factor. They end up getting a good block on on the will, and the essentially what is the third safety. Here it's the Mike linebacker. He is over scraping, he's over the top, and that's where you get that gap right there. Right, and the safety, he's trying to fit outside because he's thinking third safety / Mike is going to fit in that gap right there. What you would like to see schematically is you want to see the will scrape tight right? That way, when he gets this, he can come under it, right? Play that inside gap and not get outside, right? And even if he is outside, he's okay as long as this guy doesn't overscrape, right? But you could see here he gets way too far over the ball. So what I try to teach my third safety is you're watching the run. You're you're the fitter, right? So what he's going to get here is he's going to get this pass from the running back. So what he should do is he should tempo it, meaning he should play slow at first, get the read, and then now he can fit once the back gets the ball. Because ideally, what you want him to do is also be able to play quarterback if he does pull, because they're in a bad situation here, and they're going to come back to this. What I'd like to see is the Sam play that. Just because there's your athletic guy, he's not going to be very athletic against the pull. He's already getting blocked, so there's your guy. And then your extra fitter would be your third safety. If he sees the quarterback pull, he can now redirect. So that's why you don't want to just go screaming because the back's headed that way. Plus, that what that allows you to do is play it tempoed. So now you should be able to see I should be behind the back. So the third safety / my guy should be right about here and then moving with the back, and that should get him tight to the pile when that running back shows up. But he's over the top, and then that causes that kick out, and then there's your lane where the running back can get 7 yards, right? And you're okay with the backside not scraping over because you're naturally going to get a pick right there from the guard. So you'd rather have him stay and be ready for the pull, and then chase if the ball breaks. Um, but I'd rather have him do that than necessarily just run over the top, because there's your fitter right here. So you can see he goes under. Now the now the third safety fits over the top. Here's your outside guy. There's your extra hat. So schematically speaking, they can match up against this. But again, it's just a game of inches, right? A game of steps. So he's 1 to 2 steps too far over. That gives enough of a gap to get that yardage. But you can see how they can fit it up correctly and make a play schematically on this counter from Georgia. One more time.